we're going to spend some time talking about the AMC Number Arrangements Assessment. I've already clicked on Start Assessment and brought up my home screen, which looks like this with my students. I'm going to click on a student, and then I'm going to go over to the I tab. Remember that I tab is going to tell us the directions for the assessment and help us understand what each of those strategies means. So anytime you're in question during this assessment, you're going to look over to this I tab for more instructions. So it says that we need dot cards numbered 1 to 6 and small group cards A through D. You're going to find these cards on the home page of AMC under the Resources tab. When you click on Resources, you'll go down to Number Arrangements, and then the second link under Number Arrangements says Dot Cards for the assessment. So you'll need to print those cards out before you do this assessment with students. When you're ready to begin, you click Start Assessment. If you notice here in the corner, it's going to show me, it's actually towards the middle of your screen, it's going to show you the dot card that you would actually show to students. So it's this dot where you see 2 dots on the top and 3 on the bottom. So you're going to ask the student, how many dots are there? And the student's going to tell you. And then you're going to say, how did you find out? And they're going to tell you the strategy that they used to find out. If the student is not successful, it gives you some prompts for helping them. Then you actually begin the real assessment. Notice it says show card 1. The bottom of this card will say card 1. So you ask, how many dots are there? How did you find out? So when you ask the student how many dots there are, if they said 6, then you click 6. Then you have to talk about the strategy that they use to figure out how many. So the adds group strategy would mean the child says, well, I saw 4 and 2, and I knew 4 and 2 was 6. Okay, so that's add groups. You can see those groups that they put together. Count on means that they started at a number and counted from there. So you might hear a child say 4, talking about their group of 4, and then say 4, 5, 6. That would be a counting on strategy. This next strategy is counting all. That means they start at 1. So really, instead of seeing groups in this dot card, they just counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You would also click this if they counted by 2s, 2, 4, 6. If they said that they just guessed or they didn't give an answer, you would click the guess or no answer. We're going to say that the child added groups. Then I click Next. Now I have to say the largest group that they identified. So if the child said, I see 4 and 2, then I would click the 4 tab. If the child said, I saw 2, 2, and 2, then the largest group they had identified would be the 2. If the child said, I just knew there were 6, then I would use the 5 plus tab. Let's say that the child said, I see 4 and 2, so we're going to click on 4, and then we click Next. Then we put our next dot card, which looks like this. You say, how many dots are there? How did you find out? Let's say the student said that there were 7. You ask them, how did you know? And she said 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That time the child counted on because they started with 3 and then counted up from there. So the largest group that the child identified was 3. We'll go on to the next dot card. For this dot card, you would say, how many dots are there? And let's say the child said, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So the child said the total was 7. What strategy did the child use? They counted on because she started at 4 and then moved on from there. So that's the count on strategy. The largest group that was identified was the 4. So I'm going to click 4. So you're going to continue with this assessment until you get to the end. And at the end, you're going to get to some data. So I'm going to quickly click through for you so that we can get the data for this student, because I think it's important for us to talk about what that data means. Oh, this is a hard one. So I'm going to say 7. I actually counted on from 3 for that one. For this one, oh, I see 4 and 4 is 8. So I was adding groups because I saw 4 and 4. Next. All right. So here is the data. This tells us that in identifying parts of number, this student is at a level A. That means they're ready to apply that skill. That means this might be a good skill, just identifying parts of number, as something they could do at a center. A P plus means they need some additional practice on combining parts of number. That's probably because instead of me seeing the two parts, sometimes I actually count it on. And so if the child is counting on, it's going to be a P or a P plus. So that's the data that I've been asking you to record and move on from there and decide what to do next. A P tells me a child needs some more practice. If they had an I, it means they need some instruction. I's are what we're going to be looking for when we're working with students in their small groups.